You have prayed this prayer your entire life. You have heard it in churches, in funerals, at dinner tables, in moments of despair and moments of joy. But here is something almost no one has ever told you. The version you know is a translation of a translation of a translation, and somewhere in that long journey across languages and centuries, something profound was lost. Jesus did not pray in English. He did not pray in Latin. He did not even pray in the Greek in which the Gospels were eventually written. Jesus prayed in Aramaic, the everyday language of the streets of Galilee, the tongue of fishermen and farmers and mothers calling their children home at dusk. And when you hear what those Aramaic words actually mean, you will understand why this prayer was, and still is, unlike anything the world has ever heard. Today we are going to go through the Lord's Prayer, phrase by phrase, not the version you memorized, but the original, the one that came out of Jesus' mouth 2,000 years ago. By the time we reach the end of this video, you will not simply know this prayer differently. You will feel it differently. And that changes everything. Abeweo ende bewea esha ayea. Our Father in Heaven de prayer opens with two words that, in Aramaic, carry a meaning so rich and so intimate that the English phrase, Our Father, barely begins to touch it. Abun comes from the root ab source, origin, the generative force from which all things flow. The suffix transforms it into something alive and dynamic, something actively happening right now. It is not simply a father sitting in a chair. It is the breathing, creative source of all existence, what some scholars have called the sacred birthing breath of the universe. And then Diboshmaya. In heaven, in Aramaic, the word for heaven Shmaya is built on the root, Shmaya, meaning name, sound, and light. The heavens are not a location above the clouds. They are the realm of vibrating light and sound that underlies all physical reality. When Jesus opened this prayer, he was not addressing a distant king on a golden throne. He was addressing the luminous, breathing source of all that exists, present in every atom of the air you breathe right now. The word Abba, the intimate root of Abun, is the word a small child uses for their father, not the formal, respectful address of a subject to a ruler. The word Papa, the word you say when you are not performing, not reciting, not trying to be impressive. The word you say when you are simply, completely yourself before someone who knows you entirely, that is, who Jesus was teaching his disciples to address. That is how close this prayer was meant to feel. Imagine beginning your journey with the two most powerful Aramaic words that open everything. A complete guide, correct sound, full meaning, and sacred protocol exists for those who feel the call. Check the pinned comment. Hallowed be thy name sounds, in English, like a formal act of reverence, the kind of bow you make before entering a throne room. But in Aramaic, Nefkadish comes from a root meaning to set apart, to bring into a state of sacred luminosity, to consecrate. It is not passive. It is an active invitation, a request for the sacred to make itself radiant, to shine through the ordinary fabric of existence. And Shmak, your name, is built on that same root we saw in heaven. Shma, meaning sound, vibration, light. In the ancient Semitic world, a name was not simply a label. It was the living essence of a thing, its deepest identity expressed in sound. To hallow God's name in Aramaic is to recognize that the very vibration of the sacred, the frequency that underlies all creation, is what makes the world real and luminous. This phrase is a declaration that the universe is not silent. It is not mechanical. It is resonant with a presence that can be addressed, that responds, that is woven into the sound of everything that exists. When Jesus said these words, he was not asking his followers to show respect. He was inviting them to recognize something that was already true, that the name, the vibration, the living frequency of the divine was already hallowed, already shining, and that their prayer was an act of waking up to what had always been there. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Thy kingdom come sounds in English like a passive wish, a quiet hope for something that will happen someday somewhere in a future we cannot see. But in Aramaic, tati is urgent. It carries the feeling of something straining toward manifestation, like a seed pushing through dark soil toward light. This is not a polite request, it is an invocation. A calling forth of something that is already present and wants to be known. Malkatha, the kingdom, is built on the root malka, which means not just a king, but the principle of dynamic, creative ordering. It is the force that turns chaos into pattern, silence into music, seat into tree. When Jesus said, Tati Malkathak, he was invoking the active, ordering principle of the divine to make itself known right now, in this moment, in this body, in this community. And then, Newitseviana Chikana Diboshmaya Parha, thy will be done on earth, as it is in heaven. The word Tseviana is translated as will, and that is accurate. But in Aramaic, will is not the cold command of an authority issuing orders. It is closer to deep desire, the yearning of the universe toward its own fullest expression. And Akana, as in heaven, also on earth. Places heaven and earth, not in hierarchy, but in correspondence. What vibrates in the realm of sacred light and sound wants to find its echo in the physical world? We are being asked to be that echo. If you feel drawn to go further, a guide already exists. The two most important Aramaic words that symbolize the beginning of everything, correct sound, full meaning, and a sacred protocol for those two words. The door is open. Check the pinned comment. Give us this day our daily bread. At first glance, this seems like the most practical line in the entire prayer. A simple, human request for food. And it is that, but in Aramaic, lakma is more than bread. It is nourishment, physical, emotional, spiritual. The root connects to the idea of what a living being needs to sustain its very existence, moment by moment. Not abundance stored against an imagined future, not security against every possible threat. What is needed today? Right now. Desunken, our need, our necessity, is precise and honest. It does not ask for more than is needed. It does not ask for what would be impressive or comfortable or safe. It asks for what is necessary. There is a profound humility in this phrasing that is easy to miss in English. Jesus was not teaching his disciples to ask for prosperity. He was teaching them to trust the present moment completely, to believe that what today requires will be provided today, and that tomorrow's need does not have to be carried in today's body. Yalmana Dela, today, is insistent in a way that the English translation softens. Not tomorrow, not in abundance stored for winter. Today, this single word trains the one who prays it to remain present, to resist the anxiety of hoarding against an imagined future, to trust the source that Jesus just named in the opening breath of the prayer. The God who is the breathing source of all existence can be trusted to provide what this day requires. That is the entire argument of this line. Stated simply, asked humbly, believed completely. Let's talk about the line from the Lord's Prayer that most Christians know best, but might also be the most deeply misunderstood. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. In English, this sounds like a condition, doesn't it? As if God's forgiveness depends on our performance, like we have to earn what we're asking for. But the original Aramaic tells a completely different and far more beautiful story. The Aramaic for forgive us is washboklin, kaubain. This comes from the root word shbok, which means to release, to untie, to let go. Imagined releasing an animal caught in a snare, or how a river finally lets go of a stone it's been pushing against. Forgiveness in Aramaic isn't a legal verdict from a judge. It's a physical act of untying something that's been bound, of letting go of what's been held so tightly. And the second part, Ikana dafnan shabukan el hayabayan, means as we also release those entangled with us. You see, the structure isn't a condition. It's a correspondence. The releasing of others and the releasing of ourselves are the same motion. You can't genuinely release yourself from a knot while still pulling the other end tighter. This prayer describes a law of spiritual reality. It's not a bargain or a test of worthiness. It's a recognition that holding on and letting go are not two separate things. They are one single act, just experienced from two different sides. When you release another person from the debt of their harm, you suddenly realize you were holding both ends of the rope all along. Now for another part of the prayer that has troubled theologians for 2,000 years. Let us not into temptation. Many people have found it hard to imagine a God who would actively lead anyone towards temptation. In fact, in 2017, Pope Francis himself questioned whether the translation was correct. The Aramaic clears this up entirely. The word for temptation, nesiuna, comes from a root meaning a trial, a test, or being put to proof. It's the kind of weight that can completely overwhelm a person if they aren't supported. So, the prayer isn't asking God to avoid testing us. It is asking not to be abandoned to the trials that are too heavy for us to carry alone. It's a plea to be held, so the full weight of existence doesn't crush our spirit. And the next line, Ella patsen min bisha, but deliver us from evil, is so powerful. Patsian means to snatch free, to pull someone from a current that's dragging them under. It's urgent, it's physical. It's the image of a sacred hand reaching into a flood to save you. The prayer then closes with Mital dilahim al kathawahila watishbukta, lalam almin, for thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory forever. This brings everything full circle. Malkatha is that dynamic, ordering principle of the universe. Hala, or power, isn't about domination or force. Its root is about capability and potential. It's the power of a tiny seed, not a giant army. And Teshbukta, or glory, is connected to light, to the quality of shining that radiates through all created things if you just pay close enough attention. Finally, Lalam Almin, forever, tells us that this kingdom, this power, and this glory are woven right into the fabric of time itself. The prayer ends exactly where it began, with the recognition that the divine isn't somewhere else. It is here. It always has been. So, let's put it all together. This is the prayer, as Jesus spoke it, not as a recitation, but as a living map of the relationship between the human and the sacred. Abun debush mayor, Father the breathing, generative source of all existence. Nithkadash smaksakar be your name, your vibration, your living frequency, Tati Malkathaklet. Your kingdom come, your dynamic, ordering principle, right now. Nebi Tvianush Ekana Diboshmaya. F. Parhalit. Your deepest desire find its echo. In the physical world, Hovlan Lakma Disankonan Yomanastanastade, with what this moment requires. Washpuklan, untie us from the knots we have made Akana, Dafkanan, Spoken Likayabenas we untie those who are tangled with us. Well atalan lane junado, not abandon us to what overwhelms us. Ella patsin min bishabat, snatch us free from what pulls us under metal. Dilahi, for yours is the ordering principle, wahaila wateshbukta. The potential and the radiance, lalamel, woven through every age I'm in. It is firm. It is trustworthy. It is truly so. This is the prayer Jesus taught. It's not just a set of words to perform, but a map to inhabit. It describes a universe where the sacred is actively present, breathing, ordering, sustaining, releasing, and shining. You are not begging at a locked door. You are a child speaking to the source of your own existence, in a language that source has always understood. If this prayer moved something in you today, say it again tonight. Slowly. One phrase at a time. You don't need to understand Aramaic perfectly. Just be present with each syllable, like you would with music that moves you before you even know the lyrics. The meaning will find you. It always does. Everything begins with these words. A complete guide with the correct sounds, full meanings, and sacred protocols now available for those ready to start this journey. The door is open. Check the pinned comment. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and let me know in the comments what you thought of this content. See you next time.
For 2,000 years, the prayer you know has not been the prayer Jesus prayed. This is the original. In the language he spoke, the way he taught it. Abunda Bushmaya, our Father, the breathing source of all. Neth Chadashishmet, sacred be your name, your living core. Te Malkuthak, let your kingdom come right here, right now. Nehuit Saviana, your deepest desire, we take the vow.
This is not a distant God. This is the breath inside your breath, the light inside the light. Say it with me.
Abunda Bashmaya, our Father, our sacred breath. Nefadash Ishma, holy is the sound of your name. Te Malkuta, come now, let your kingdom reign. Newe Teviana, your will, your deepest love made real. I cannot wash my as above, so below, as in heaven, so on earth.
Havlan Lashmat Sunanan, give us today the bread we need.
Yoma,
Only today.
plant the seed,
Wash Boklan Kaubang.
Release us from the knots we made.
I cannot Afghanan Shwokan, as we release unafraid.
ولا تهلن لنا شونا. Do not abandon us to our overwhelm. Zela Padzan min Bisha, but snatch us free from what pulls us under.
He did not pray to a king far away. He prayed to the source of his own breath. He prayed to the light inside every living thing. And now you are about to say what he said. In the language he said it. 2,000 years later, the words are still alive.